All right, everyone. We are live. We are live. This is Masculine Geek number 27. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you're at. This is going to be sort of a free-for-all. We have no guest. Sorry, you just get us tonight. So that's the way it's going to be. Anyway, you already know who we are. We need no introduction. We're up to number 27. So if you don't know who we are, you're going to have to go back and watch earlier episodes. So that's it.
26 of them.
All 26 of them, yes. And start with number 1 and cycle all the way through.
Does that count the Saturday morning cartoon hour ones too?
It does not, no. So we're over 30. So yes. Everyone, hello. Yes.
We are all over 30.
How are you, RR? Good to see you in the chat. So, all right. And Rob talked about some stuff both on and off air. And off air when we had our own business meeting, and on air when we had I was a guest on the Salt Lake sit down. And if you haven't seen that, it's really pretty cool. We get into the weeds with relationships and just life in general. We actually didn't talk too much about wine, which in retrospect, I'm rather disappointed. So we're going to have to do another episode. Talk about that. Okay. So, Rob, do you want to lift this off? You want to take it away?
Yeah, why not? What the hell? Why not?
Awesome.
So, something I brought up to...
Hey, it's the safety. Dave, how are you? David.
Look at that. Mr. Perodin himself is in the chat, in the house.
Yes, he is. Thank you for joining us.
So anyway, going back about a week ago when we were having our pre-show warm-up that we like to do where we, get all sorts of hair hanging out and really get all loose. You guys really, you're missing out on some of the good shit there. But it all stems back to... I was a guest on Jack Napier's show a couple weeks ago. His show, he's got a couple different renditions, I guess you could say. He's got Red Pill readings, and then he's got Red Evenings. Well, this was a Red Pill reading that he had invited me to be on. And we were discussing the book, The Manipulated Man by Esther Villar. You guys can look that up on Amazon if you want to get a copy or whatever. And it's a book that when I first read it a couple of years ago, it had a real profound effect for me. If there was 3 books that I would recommend any man should read, it would be the original Rational Male, Jack Donovan's The Way of Men, and then Esther Villar's The Manipulated Man. Those would be the 3 that you should read, probably even in that order. But I had to, read it again to refresh my memory so I knew what we were going to talk about. And it set me off again like it did the first time, because this woman, and it's a woman who wrote the book, to give you a little context, if you read it or if you have read it recently, you would think that she wrote this book like a year ago, when in fact, she originally wrote it back in 1971. But the things she talks about they're going on right now today. And it's just absolutely crazy. And that's one of the things that's kind of a mind blower to me is I had to keep stopping and reminding myself, she wrote this book, 30 plus years ago. Damn near almost 40 years ago. It was written before I was even born.
So it holds up, the material and the context holds up today.
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. There's a little bit in it, like the edition I have is she's got kind of like a new foreword, a new introduction to it, because it was re-released in, I think, like 2008, something like that. And so she added a little more to it because even she's aware that there's a little bit that has changed over time. And she kind of addresses that.
Just a wee little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. There's a couple of things that changed. But the general premise of it didn't change. That what's kind of going on, in a nutshell, we as men are slaves and we are willingly, voluntarily slaves. Okay. Slaves to our sex drives, slaves to society in that sense, because we become the plow horse, the provider. And there's been a lot of talk about that, about being the plow horse provider type of thing, at least in my corner of the internet on Twitter and whatnot. A lot of the talk about that lately. It's definitely a topic that it drives me nuts, because you've got feminists more or less saying, stay on the plantation or get back on the plantation. You know, we can't have you men out there running amok. And so they shame and guilt and all that shit that we all know and we all love. Well, you also see it from the other side, the trad cons. They're doing the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin. They're doing the same thing. It is man up and marry those hoes. You know, you're save Western civilization. What about your legacy? You know, you got to have a legacy. And, what would your ancestors think? All that shit. And I've wrote about it too on my website, and I've even got more coming up, going more into it. But it brought me to kind of a crisis point, I guess. It definitely made me kind of pause and think. And the question that I was kind of asking these guys before the last show was, unless you want, if you're going to have true freedom and independence, we're going to throw those buzzwords around, freedom, independence, America. But if you're going to have true freedom and independence, that kind of means you're not going to be a part of the system, part of society, even to a degree. Well, I don't know about you guys out there, but I don't want to go live in a log cabin out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. I don't want to be, some lone hermit, that's out trapping my food for a living. And I don't want to be kind of the MGTOW, Virgin Tao guys that's all pissed off and bitter and has zero interaction with women. And I see a lot of guys, you hear the big buzz phrase going around in the communities about, you got to have a mission, you got to have a mission. And women can't be your mission. She's complementary to you. You have to have a mission. Okay, cool. But if women could potentially be the problem, and that's where the slavery comes in, because you end up wanting to provide for them, take care of them, nothing wrong with that. But if, stay away, women's are bad, is what you'll hear in some corners, then what's the point in having a mission? What's the point in eating right, working out so that you can live forever and beat off to dead philosophers and talk about exploits of old, but not to have any interaction with women, assuming you're heterosexual? And well, you can hire a prostitute. Well, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In some cases, maybe that is the answer. But, you do you. But it got me kind of thinking, because it's like, I like women. I like being around them. Am I aware of hypergamy? Yes. Am I aware that women are the most responsible teenager in the room? Yes. Are they going to do stupid shit? Yes. Can they break your heart? Can they tear you apart? Yes. I'm not going to pedestalize them. They are complementary in that sense. But I guess to me, it's, well, what if I do want to make women as a whole my mission? Because I enjoy them so fucking much. I enjoy being around them. Yes, they smell nice.
Hear, hear.
Yes, they feel good. There's things about them that you cannot get from a guy, unless maybe you're homosexual, but otherwise you're not going to get it from a guy. You can have great conversations with men. I think you can have some pretty decent ones with women as well, but I don't want to fuck guys. I want to have sex with women. That's the way it goes. And so, but a lot of guys out there on the Twitterverse, on the manosphere, using that lousy word, they all talk about, gotta have a mission, gotta pick up heavy shit, put it down, you gotta have your mission. Women are a compliment. I get it, but at the same time, what if I like women? What if I want to be around them? And yeah, I know, I get it, to each their own. Okay. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. You guys got to define and figure out what your mission is. Maybe it is to be a father and a husband and raise, a gaggle of kids. Cool. You do you. You know, for me, maybe it's to remain a bachelor and just be around a bunch of different women, knowing that over time they're not going to stay because they don't have to. They have no incentive to, considering the legal system is set up in their favor in general. There are no real major consequences for their actions anymore because family courts and the law, which we as men originally started all of that, we've allowed them a pass. So there's really no consequences for what they do. And if they do, they're usually given a pass or they're giving a reduced sentence. They're not treated as harshly as men. But to me, it kind of comes back to where I'm hearing guys shouting on about, gotta have a mission. What's your mission? Get your mission. Okay. Otherwise, you know, women bad in a lot of ways. Not, you know, I'm obviously I'm using hyperbole here. I'm being melodramatic. I'm overstating and I'm overgeneralizing. But it's to kind of make the point of what's the point in having a mission if you're not going to have women around, if you're not going to make them part of your mission to one degree or another, or even in a way, make them your mission. This last weekend, had a 29-year-old woman hanging out. Would I ever commit to this woman? Probably not. Listening to some of her train wreck shit she's got going on. No, not my circus, not my monkeys. But goddamn, it was nice having a woman around. You know, I had a ton of fun. She had a ton of fun. It is what it is. But I guess the question is, if, you know, what is your mission? Like I said, I understand, you know, philosophy. I understand history. And I find it interesting, but only in a passing way. There are a lot of guys probably right here in the chat. There's probably a lot of guys. I know TJ and Vince, they have certain subjects that I am fucking thrilled for them about those subjects. But to me, I really don't care. It's like, that's, you know, it's nice to talk about it with them, but it's not my thing. You know, my thing is more like, dude, I like seeing what the chicks are wearing. I like seeing how they're acting. And yeah, they're being silly little girls. They're, you know, I want to go pull their braids and go, ooh, you have cooties, because that's fun. You know, I want them to slap me on the arm and call me asshole, you know, because then it's like, oh, you're doing it right. So I think I've already answered my own question in a lot of ways, because even since I brought it up to these guys, that's kind of was my crisis moment. Was it's like, what the fuck do you do then? You know, that if you know, I go to the gym on occasion, I eat right on occasion. I know I'm not the answer to every woman's demands. I get it. Everyone has types, everyone has preferences, and that's cool. I have types, I have preferences. I'm not into bellies hanging over pants and kangaroo pouches down in the crotch. That's just not attractive.
That's a nice way of saying it.
What's that, Peanut Gallery? I hear you in the background. What did you say?
I said it's a nice way of saying you don't like.
Well, yeah, you know, and no amount of brainwashing is going to change my mind of what I find.
You're attracted to what you're attracted to, and you shouldn't be apologetic about that. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I can give a little bit of my perspective on some of this stuff.
Rob,
I want to hear your take.
Rob, are you done? You're
I'm
right?
done. TJ can be brief now.
TJ, I have an egg timer. I'm flipping. Go.
I will genuinely be as brief as I can. I get where Rob's coming from. It's just, everybody's got different backgrounds, different upbringings. This is one of the things I've really tried to appreciate when I'm talking to people, is if they grew up in a different environment and different parents, different whatever, they just learn about different things. This is kind of something I've been thinking about and realizing for a really long time. And so that's where I'm at, where this is something where I understood that when we talk about a mission, I have all these different things I want to do. I want to write novels. I want to go on adventures. I wouldn't be above even going on some sort of archaeological dig at some point, like an Indiana Jones type thing. It's all these other things I want to do, but it's also because I understand, or at least I just saw, and the problem is I'm from the Pacific Northwest, very different from Utah, very different from other parts of the country. And so that may be skewering my perception of the way things are, but the idea that a man has his own mission as opposed to being the part of someone else's objective. I mean, it's completely common in my neck of the woods for a girl to joke that she has her entire wedding planned out when she's single. She just needs a guy to fill in the role of the groom, right?
Mhm.
She's already planned out her life. It's almost like an inverse where in my neck of the woods, a woman makes a man as a compliment to a woman's mission, as opposed to the other way around. But that's obviously not me. But that's where I'm kind of at. Where if you are different in that sense, you even if you don't want to be, you're going to be kind of put off in the corner because you're not part of the rest of the group. But you're mentioning like lifting and working out and all that stuff. I got to be honest. I've been lifting since I was 16 years old. So for half my life, I didn't lift weights at all that had to do with women. It was because when I gained about 20 pounds, that was all muscle. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The way that men treated me was very different as far as respect. I got teased a little bit. I was kind of a scrawny, skinny kid. I didn't grow any more. I was like 5'9" or 5'10" or whatever, and maybe I grew a little bit. But when I was able to outlift guys on the football team, I noticed among the men, they showed me respect that they didn't show me before. So I've always associated physical strength with male respect from other men. If you can go into a weight room and lift dumbbells that they can't, they just show you automatically respect. Like there's this, I guess when growing up and just, I've always understood with men, there's a very clear and consistent code, whereas the code with women is constantly changing. Like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what you can and can't say, what'll get you in trouble, not get you in trouble, and there's all this other stuff. Whereas with men, there's this very strict code, and this is not having anything to do with like relationship stuff. It's just men want respect fundamentally and ultimately, and they want to be around people who are
respect and admiration.
Right.
I see that as well.
Men want respect. And this is going to be debatable, but this is my humble opinion. Men will die for respect over sex. So as an analogy, I think it was Dalrock who pointed out the men who died at Thermopylae, those Spartans, they didn't die with the promise or offer of women. They knew that if they stood there and died, they would be honored after death. They knew if they were treated, they would not get respect. And it was better to die than to not get respect. And I just think that that's a bigger motivator for men, is respect. But also I think it reminds me of that line from the Rocky film that came out in, I think, 2006, where there's the old gym managers talking to the Mason Dixon. He's the black boxer. And he says, the only thing that matters is what got your ass into this gym when you were a little kid. And that's pride, self-pride. That's the only thing that matters, right? And he says, that's what got you into this gym. That's what made you a boxer. That's what made you a heavyweight champion. That's what made you what you are. And that's the only thing that matters. If you have pride in yourself. So I guess that's where I'm coming from. And not saying that like, I'm the guy who wanted to, and I say this is the guy who wanted to have a family and would love to have, 10 kids. I hear about Patrick Henry having so many kids, and I'm like, that's awesome. But like Rob, I'm not ignorant about what's going on. I'm very honest about it. When I see the facts and data, when I see anecdotal evidence, I'm one of those guys who has chosen to do the painful thing and incorporate that into my planning. And so I don't know what the option is. I think that it's just, where are you at in life? What do you want to do with your life? And what can you tolerate? Because for some men, being totally going MGTOW, not having any women in your life is possible. That's not me. I like women. I think that they're, like seeing a girl laugh is different than seeing a guy laugh. right? Just women are different. They have things that men will never bring to the table. I think that that's great. I love being around girls who convey that, the femininity. But you know, if there's men who are just so damaged, but here's who I don't have respect for: guys who are just losers, who never talked to a girl, who would have been a loser 70 years ago, right? Who would have been a loser 100 years ago. They were a loser in any time period. I don't that's the problem, is they get mixed up with guys who would have been like Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life. They would have gotten the nice girl next door, right? We need to segregate those two different groups. I guess that's my thought on that. Is that let's not lop in men who genuinely like women but are making a very rational choice for their own safety, as opposed to just guys who are losers, who are bitter because they're losers. They're gammas. They're dorks. They're dweebs. They're at the bottom of the social hierarchy. They know that. They're not going anywhere. And they're trying to come up with an excuse or distract from the fact that they are losers. And they're like, oh, feminism, hypergamy. It's like, yes, women want the best man. You ain't it. Period. End of story. You never were. Like, you're not going to be that guy. And so I guess that's the difficulty of talking about all this stuff, is that you just invite those kind of men who are like, yeah, women suck. It's like, no, dude, you suck. You know, you're lazy. You're a loser. You have a terrible attitude. You know, you're not a happy man. You know, you're not one of those guys who's just out doing his own thing and it doesn't bother him that there aren't women around, right? You're the guy who just won't shut his face about all the different. Yeah.
No, it's frustrating. Upstream. What? Maybe I live under a rock for the past couple months. What is this upstream bullshit that I keep?
I think the analogy is that the idea that if you go, it's kind of like a river or creek in my neck of the woods, at least. And because I live in the best state in the union.
Of course you do.
Yeah, facetiously, he says.
Not facetiously at all. No, our state's the best. But if you go to the source, if you go upstream, you go to where a creek or a river or whatever is created. Yeah. So it's going to be where the water's the purest. If you go downstream, that's where all the crap accumulates. So when they say upstream,
so basically it's the same as saying shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, the upstream I'm referring to in the chat, it's upstream Twitter. And it was a bunch of guys that were so-called red-pilled, and they decided we've evolved past that, and so they were doing this hashtag upstream type thing. And it was a lot of platitudes and nonsense, and they honestly really haven't done much with it over the last couple of years, and it's just one of those little jab type of things, like, so what's the guys of upstream done lately?
Well, I think the problem is that they want to be. Here's the thing. I'm not.
Yeah, RZD's got it.
I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, and I get where. Trust me. As much as I'm more cynical than Aaron Clarey, I'm also more idealistic than he is in some ways. And I think that what feeds into my cynicism on stuff is that I want things to be different, and I see how far away they are. But if a guy manages to. If I saw some young guy with a really nice girl, and I would say, and he was talking to me about it, I would just say, here's what you need to know. Now, if you go get married and it turns out to work great, and you have a bunch of kids and it's a happy family, great. But just know what you're getting into before that happens. And it's the same thing with other people, I'm not one of those guys who're like, oh, you can't talk to girls. It's like, no, I'm not opposed in any way, and I take advantage of every opportunity where, if there's a cute girl around. But it's just, I think what it really comes down to is what is your attitude and your mindset of as much as this is the problem I have with feminists. They poison every term. Genuinely bitter people, where they're just bitter about life, right? They're not one of those guys. Here's the thing. I've had letdowns in my own life. Doesn't matter. I just said, you know what? I'm going to put it behind me and move on. And that's how, this is why forgiveness is so important and not hating people, because hate means you never forget. Forgiveness means you let it go and you move on with your life and you don't let it drag you down. And so that's what I would say with a lot of these men. If you want to go live a monastic lifestyle, that you can do that. But if all you're doing at that point is talking about how bad things are, then I know where you stand, right? Because I'm perfectly willing to stop talking about a lot of the bad stuff in our society and start talking about how awesome Bold Venture with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall is. I'm perfectly willing to spend the rest of my life talking about Dana Andrews and how much I love him as an actor, and all these old time radio shows, or talking about all this other stuff. That's what I want to talk about, right? I want to talk about all the bad stuff that's going on. I think people use that as an excuse to avoid looking at their own selves and saying, what's wrong with me?
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So what's the takeaway with all this then? I mean, to some extent, this is a bit of an existential crisis for men, no matter what their age is.
I would say, and I'm only saying this from my perspective. I don't know other men. I had a lot of different goals when I was a kid. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. I basically wanted to live kind of the typical middle class WASP life, right? Where I want to just live the life that as for all the things that go on. I had a very positive childhood in a lot of ways, and I wanted to replicate that with my own kids. That just didn't happen. And that's one of the areas where I have to struggle not being bitter about, is that I'm not that kind of the way that I want things to be is not going to be there. And I have to be acceptable of that. But I think for men, it's just, what else did you want to do with your life? Do you want to, write books? Do you have, what are you good at? Like, what can you accomplish in a way that is, productive, but also gives you satisfaction, right? For me, book writing has always been kind of my mission. I want to write stories that, frankly, starting since I was college, I said, why aren't people writing these stories that I want to read or see on film? Well, I decided, okay, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. And and the more and more of the things that are going on in society right now, the more I've seen the need for men like myself to write stories, because not only are we red pill, but we can tell stories that are good. So Men Who Walk Alone, the novel I wrote, I think that's a book that masculine men would want to read now. And we're in a day and age where all the old stuff is being destroyed. So we got to create new content. So that's kind of my mission in a lot of ways. I'm a man who's able to speak my mind and write what I want to write. So I want to almost provide something for the next generation of men who have not swallowed the blue pill entirely.
All right, Rob.
Oh, don't mind us there, TJ. We're just talking shit about you in the chat. That's all.
Yeah, you're an old man in a young man's body.
No shit.
And that's not a bust. That's a compliment, really.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Well,
I'm 76 years old. I'm just 4 years younger than Aaron Clarey.
That's right. Chasing Aaron down. Yeah. No. My takeaway, and like I said, it's one of those things that the more I've thought about it, and you just brought something up very poignant and very critical about it, TJ. And I noticed, I think Doc Perodin said something earlier in the chat while I was waxing poetically, and it talks about legacy. A lot of guys, your legacy. How I mentioned that thing. Have that mess of kids. And I've got a post coming up that kind of talks about that. And one of the questions I have for those guys, the legacy guys, you got to have your kids, is, well, what if your kids turn out to be pieces of shit? you know, because that happens. That, you know, I've got extended family members that are absolute pieces of shit. That's your legacy. That's not something necessarily to be proud of. And the other one is when it comes to your children, they're not obligated to you. Just because you spit them out, you created them, whatever, doesn't mean that they're obligated to take care of you in your older years, that they may have nothing to do with you. That once they, whatever age it may be, whether it's age of majority or they run away or do whatever, you may never see or hear from them again until it's your funeral. So again, well, I have a legacy. Yeah, except your legacy disowned you. So not to say you can't have children be your legacy, but it can't just be, oh, you know, gotta have children. Anyway, TJ and Doc both said something, and I know I bring it up in the post, which is, you know, because I don't have kids. I don't have any, and I don't know if I ever will. I'm still open to the idea, but as I get older, the idea of taking care of babies and infants and little toddlers to me becomes less and less appealing as I get older, that it's like, do I really want to put up with that shit? You know? I mean, everyone talks about the bundle of joy that children are. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm not a parent. I've never been one. So I don't know. But at the same time, for everyone that says, oh, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, I know a lot of people that are like, fuck, I wish I never had kids.
Yeah.
You know, the bundle of joy was not a bundle of joy. It was a goddamn burden to them.
I think the problem with that is, I think a lot of parents, and I'm speculating, I'm not saying I know this for sure, but I think a lot of the problem is what they're doing is they're having kids because that's what someone else told them to do. Like they're not having, nothing they do is because they want to do it. They married this girl because everybody else told them to marry this girl. They had kids because everybody else. Like, I see a lot of things that kids do that I take joy from, like my relatives of mine, like the little kids running around. And I love it because I think about how they're just, you know, I think about when I was a kid and how I had that sense of joy and just awe in life at just little things that other people think, well, that's stupid. And I'm like you've lost that idealism, or that idea that there's somebody who is looking at everything for the first time, you know, kind of like when, you know, you sit down with your kid and you're watching, like, I wouldn't know because I'm a bachelor with no kids, but I can only imagine what it'd be like to, you know, like you're sitting there and you're watching some movie or TV show or cartoon or like Star Wars, right? Or Bond. And you just look at your kid and you see how excited he is to see this for the first time, right? And you get to watch that.
That's
right?
a nice feeling. My a good buddy of mine has 4 kids and he loves it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times when I see him, it looks like he just fell down an elevator shaft. Like he's disheveled. Yeah, he's got bags under his eyes. But
I have no illusions about the difficulty of raising kids, but I think it's because a lot of guys had kids for the wrong, for not good reasons. They didn't say, I want to bring someone in this world. Here's where I'm at, and I'm willing to say this. If I had kids, it's because I want to take all the stuff that I know and who I am and my family and all this other stuff. I want to pass it along to someone who I can, because people are like, well, what's stopping you from doing it with somebody else? Because there's no context for that, right? I start doing that with some other guys because it's like, well, what are you doing? Trying to steal my kid or whatever? But if I do it with my son, nobody raises an eyebrow, right? Except for the public schools, but that's a different topic. But Rob, I was going to say this. You're talking about how people are like, oh, you want to leave a legacy, or what would your ancestors think? I know what my ancestors would say to me. Your freedom and independence did not come freely. We paid for them. Don't squander it, right? And so
that has to be brought to everyone's attention. Like, I wouldn't say on a continual basis, but if you don't talk about this, and if it's not talked about in schools, even if you don't talk about it amongst yourselves, it has a tendency to fade into the background, and people take it for granted, and that's what we're seeing now.
Right. And so the thing I would say I've read enough about my ancestors, going all the way back to the first guy who showed up in America. He got put in the stocks in Boston because he was fighting for you know, at the time, freedom and liberty, right? Regarding church stuff, but that's, you know, context wise. But the thing is, they would say, and then there's my ancestors who came across the Oregon Trail. They survived massacres. They did all this stuff. They would say to me, I know they would say to me, you have the freedom and independence you have because of what we went through and the suffering and pain. Don't squander it. That's what actually drives, frankly, what drives and motivates me to oppose so much of what's going on with the whole situation with marriage and families and feminism and all that. I don't have the right to squander my freedom and independence because I'm here because other people suffered and put me here through their sacrifice. I have an obligation to not misuse what I've been given because I'm not here because of anything I did, right? So that's what motivates me. When someone says, oh, you need to give up your freedom and independence to satisfy some thought. No, they're not family. All these people who are dead, they were family. And, you know, this is me, but I need to be able to look at them when I die and go into the next life and be able to look at them in the eye and say, I didn't squander that stuff. I got to be able to say that. That's me. That's what motivates me. Other people, whatever. I think that's the problem. A lot of people don't care. They don't care what their ancestors would think at all. And so like, oh, what do they care? They're dead. Well, dude, you know, that's why you end up with your life's a disaster because you don't appreciate the fact that other people did what they did. They were probably thinking about you more than you've been thinking about you, let alone them. So maybe the problem is with you and not people who are overly sentimental because they care about what their ancestors think. Because they were clearly thinking more long-term about this stuff than you were.
Okay, fair enough.
Interesting points all around.
Good points.
The last thing I wanted to say to finish up where I was mentioning the legacy, and it is something you said, TJ, and also the doc mentioned. And it's something, again, that I bring up in this future post that's coming out next week, I think. But the legacy, you know, if I have kids, great. If I don't, fine. But to me, the legacy, and a couple of others I've noticed in the chat have kind of touched on it too. And that is my legacy is going to be like what we're doing right now.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
It is my blog. It is my videos. It is my podcasts that when I'm, you know, assuming we don't have some kind of an apocalypse that wipes out the internet, which it could. And if it does, then fuck it, no one cares anyway, right? So if the internet's still around after I'm gone, the stuff I've written, whether it's mundane and nonsensical, or it's something that someone goes, whoa, that's wow. And I've got stuff that has done that. Not that I was trying for that. It was just, these are my thoughts. These are my experiences. This is what I've realized, you know, doing whatever I was doing at the time. And I'm getting emails and comments and whatnot from people going, thank you for doing that. And I'm like, doing what? You know, I'm just running my mouth. That's all I'm doing. But it is my legacy. And you're doing it, TJ, with your books. So are you, Vince. Like I said, we're doing it right here, right now with the videos.
Absolutely. And
that to me, I guess, you know, that's my legacy. It's like, okay, I mean, think of, you know, yeah, I was kind of, you know, being a little caustic when I was talking about, you know, dead philosophers and dead presidents, but where are we learning about them and where do we know of them from? From books. You know, somebody wrote about it, whether that person sat down and put pen to paper or however they did it, or someone else wrote about it after the fact. There was some kind of a written record somewhere. And that to me is probably a better legacy than, you know, not to say don't have kids, by all means. If that's your thing and you want them, by all means, have kids. But if your kids turn into pieces of shit or they want nothing to do with you for reasons, you still have a legacy, even if your living legacy denies who you are.
Right. I think that that's the problem.
Well, lost you, TJ. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted. That's Google telling you that you were not being brief.
The egg timer ran out,
Right,
TJ. You're
it
done
did.
talking for the day.
We're going to go and supply our own words for you. So wah 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 wah. We still can't hear you, TJ. Just type something in the chat. Yes, a muted rant. Yes, that's a muted rant. See, yeah.
Oh shit.
Nope, still nothing. Oh my god. You
This
gotta let.
is
Well,
hilarious.
if I'm not dropping out, TJ's going mute.
You guys and your fucking technical difficulties, I swear.
Well, it's not me. It's just I'll tell you. It's like twice, sometimes 3 times during the Google Hangout, I will randomly drop out.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware when you're whatever happens and you take a shit.
Yes. Well, that's later. That's later. I'll hold that in.
Yeah, maybe Google actually has an egg timer and said, "That's enough of you, young man."
I'm done hearing you rant. I don't want to hear about this shit anymore. You want to hear? It's like I want to hear more about TJ's beard. That's what Google wants to know. Skype is notorious for dropping in and out. That is true, Ralstonian.
Yeah, it is. Technology's great until it isn't.
TJ posting a hologram as just went to open a pudding factory in the basement. Oh shit. Oh, this is a fantastic episode.
No,
All right.
TJ.
Did you hit something? I unplugged that USB mic and then reset it.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh no, shit. Need to play the Jeopardy theme.
Seriously.
Oh, he just jumped out, so maybe he's gonna reboot or something. Watch, find out that like he was rubbing his feet on the floor or something and he built up some static electricity and he touched his mic and fried the fucker.
Yes.
Or us, it's because we're relying and depending on others' technology.
Exactly. There is only so we do. Yes. Rule
F's
zero
in
dead.
the chat. Hey, Max, shush, hush.
Yes. Shh. Quiet over there. TJ, send me an invite again. All right, hang on,
Yes,
everyone.
RZB, we're using Hangouts.
We use Hangout for now. We're gonna be looking into other stuff and whatnot. And yeah, all right, TJ, I'm going to send you the invite again. Hang on.
Berkeley grads, yes, because we need them to, hanging over and henpecking our shoulders, saying things like "can't say that," "don't do that."
Yeah, it's like
Berkeley grads,
freedom. It's freedom of speech as long as we like what you say.
Right.
Fucking stupid. All right, so TJ's back in. Speak.
Can you hear me?
We can. Yes.
Google, because I didn't do a dang thing.
Nice.
Well, it's because you reset the egg timer.
Reset. Hey, let me reset it. Hang on. There we go. All right, TJ, you got 3 minutes.
Lord. Okay, so
you've got 3 minutes. Go.
I'll make it 30 seconds. Okay.
Wow.
I was very sobered up by how I saw so many kids who grew up in a certain environment go and become totally different from what they were becoming. Right. So they would basically throw off everything that they were taught as kids and become something else. And I thought, well, that was kind of a waste for their parents. So how do I avoid doing the exact same thing? Because if I have all these things that I want my kid to believe, like Davy Crockett, right? Great guy. I want him to think Davy Crockett is a hero. I want to think Daniel Boone's a hero. I want to think all these different guys were heroes and love American history and love all this other stuff. If he's going to go on and be like, no, this is stupid, it's wrong, it's racist, blah, blah, blah. Like if my son showed up as a soy boy, I would I would have, like, I'm at the point in my life, just to show you how cynical I am. If he showed up under certain circumstances, I would have no problem saying, you're dead to me. When you are ready to change, I will accept you, but I'm writing you out of the will. Like, I'm not going to leave you any of my money or anything I have for that purpose, because what's the point? There's so many parents who just live in denial, like, oh, you know, they could change. They won't change if they know that you're going to give them all your money, you morons. Like, they're not going to do that. So what? And you got to shame them. Be like, I didn't. Well, of course they can't shame them because they failed. Like, you got to be able to look. Again, I'm saying this is a bachelor with no kids. You got to be able to look your kid in the eye if they screw up, right? They cross the line and be like, you have to make that line clear all through their childhood. So when they cross it, be like, you're dead to me, right? You knew this. This wasn't something that you just stumbled upon, right? Like, you didn't just walk across the road and discover this. You knew that this was important value to me. And for you to betray that means, okay, fine, but you're not one of mine anymore, right? We don't do that. And it's any wonder that kids are so screwed up, right? Here's the thing. It's okay to have strict standards, but you got to invest in the kids as well, right? You invest in the kids and you prepare them for life, and then you let them go. And if they screw up, you got to be able to say to yourself, I did my job. It's on them, right? They're now an independent moral agent. They screwed up, out of the will, right?
You're done. You're finished.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
you're
done.
See?
You're done, you little whippersnapper. Yeah. No, that's true.
What's your take, Vince?
On the state of all this in general?
Yeah, you know, this conversation, it's been going on for about 47 minutes now.
I have to admit, though, in light of the 47-minute timing, it has been brief. So my thing is, I don't care. And what do I mean by that? It's not that I don't care. I do, as a human being, I care. But I'm going to live the best life and be the best version of myself that I can. Do what I want without hurting anyone. And I've hurt people in the past, and I walk a different path now. Doesn't mean I wouldn't help someone out. There's something called a circle of empathy. And I think right now in our current cultural climate, we like to extend a circle of empathy out to include other nations and people we don't even know, and we really fundamentally can't really care about. We can't make a connection with, despite the internet. So I have a very close circle of empathy. TJ, Rob, you're part of my circle of empathy. I take a bullet for you guys. Family members and other friends. I have a very small, tight-knit unit that have my back and I have theirs. And that's very important. Okay. Now there'll be more people that will come into it, and people I meet through Masculine Geek, people we're talking to maybe in the chat. And that's the important thing, is to create bonds of friendship, bonds of loyalty and trust with that small circle of empathy. To worry about the bigger picture and children I'm never going to have. Am I going to have children? No. And I'm like Rob, and I've always said this to anyone I've ever dated. If I have children, that's great. If I don't, that's great too. I've never had a burning desire to procreate. I don't know if that's a flaw or if that's a really positive thing. Maybe the world doesn't need another little Vince running around. I don't know. Maybe that's for the best.
Sad. I think, not to interrupt, but I think that the problem.
But you did, TJ. You interrupted.
I didn't mean to. But I gotta say,
gonna be brief.
It won't be said. I think the problem is that we don't live in a time where men who should procreate would want to. I think we live in an age where the kind of men, the responsible men, the men who think this stuff over, are saying, this is not a response. I'm not judging any other guy, if like, again, circumstances, but when responsible men are not procreating, it's a sign that they're getting bad signals.
No,
Accurate or
I
not.
agree with that too, but I've never had from a young age, it was never like, oh, I wish I was more like my father, and I wish I had 2+ children. I never that like TJ, you said you had that sort of, not really that urge, but that idea to have a family unit, or it might be nice to have one.
Right.
That's never been my gig. So as
Gotcha.
Rob's over there chuckling and trolling to himself. So as as Rob was saying, my legacy will be any writing, this what we're doing here, and any other projects I have, and I'm fine with that. And it's important to be okay. I talked about that in the newsletter. If you're not on the newsletter, you're missing out. I'm telling you, we have 19 people in the watching now, and people coming and going. If you're not on a newsletter, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out on some great stuff. The Safety Doc will tell you right now, and the Rostonian will let you know that our newsletter, no one else is doing what we're doing. It's amazing. Am I patting myself on the back? Yes, I don't care. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're sucking your own dick. Yes, you are.
Okay. Hey, who cares? We have to market ourselves a little bit. Get on the newsletter. So, you interrupted me. Now I don't know where my train of thought went. What the hell's going on?
We were talking about kids, and somebody asked in the chat. I just wanted to address. Will I
leave my millions too?
Well, no. It was asking me would I private school my kids. I'm saying this as someone who was private schooled from the age of 2 to the age of 13 or 14. I can't remember the age, or 15.
So I did live officially under a rock for some time.
Yes and no, and it wasn't all in a bad way. But
no, I didn't mean to imply that, but yeah,
right. Because anyways, I got good stories. Not bad. Not
you some good stories. See?
It's funny. Yeah, it was funny. See, we threw rocks at each other. See, it was just I wouldn't, because I want to. Here's the thing. As a man and as a father, if I had a son or a daughter, but particularly a son, I would. Well, actually both, but just. I'm a Martinell. We have men. We have sons. That's just how we do things. I would see myself as someone who it's my responsibility to ensure that my child is a fully functioning adult at 18 years old, not the public schools and not the private schools. And so I just look at what's going on around me and say, I need to train them and teach them what they need to know. And it's going to be very idiosyncratic, because I got to look at they might be good at some stuff. They might be bad at some stuff, but I got to be able to respond to that. I don't like the idea of calling it homeschool, because that's not the way I would look at it. A lot of people look at homeschooling where they just are on their computer all the time. No, I'm going to be like, son, if I had a son. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I would do if I had a daughter. So, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But because I honestly don't know what to say other than
you're gonna have 5 daughters. That's all you're gonna have.
That's a lot of potential weddings you have to pay for.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, son, you got to watch out for the thoughts. Just don't don't turn a hoe into a housewife. All this other stuff. Here's what you got to do. These people are idiots. Don't listen to these guys. Here's this, if you're going to go to college, here's this book by my buddy, your uncle, Aaron, called Worthless. Go read it. And all this other stuff, but I'm not going to, like the way that they do schooling, it's all based, fundamentally, it's all based on the Prussian system. It's not based on traditional American schooling. And one of the things that they don't teach, that Quintus is pointing out in his books, Quintus Curtius, who's over at his own website, is moral virtues and history and all these other things that give you the grounding to go face life. What schools do now is they just regurgitate facts for you to.
Well, that's true. That is true. There's someone mentioned in the chat. In a chat, say someone had mentioned in the chat that the teaching of critical thinking is critical.
Right. And so I would say to my son, read from these ancient sources, these classical sources, learn just critical virtues, be have courage, be bold, don't be a fool. Like all these other different things that is good for a young man to know. And have standards. The biggest thing I would say is have high standards regarding the women that you bring into your life. Because if you don't, you will regret it. Make sure that those women have high, like they don't have to be the same as masculine virtues, right? Not the same as men. But
well, you can't have it the same as men. There's really no attraction at that point.
Right. I'm talking about like just with women, like integrity. Like, does she say, I understand women don't communicate the same as men. Don't come at me about that. I'm saying, does she say, if she says she's going to be at some place at a certain time, does she show up then? If she says something, is that like, meaning, is she honest, right? Not it, like, I understand women don't communicate the same way as men, but is she honest, right? And you will never go wrong with holding women to a standard that eliminates all women. You go wrong when you don't eliminate women by having low standards, right? You bring in women who have bad standards or they're borderline personality disorder or whatever, or something like that. Like, don't use, I know that this goes against a lot of red pill men type stuff, but a woman's virtue or her character, in my opinion, is more important because that will last. That will last longer than her looks. And so a lot of men, they look at the girl's looks and they're like, oh, and then they get their hormones rage and they're not thinking 5 seconds ahead of their own actions. And then they end up with some girl who's pregnant with their kid and they turn out she's a psycho. Well, yeah, if you had stopped and contained your emotions for a second and realized this woman's a psycho, you would have realized she's a psycho, but you didn't realize that because nobody ever taught you, and that's understandable.
Well, it's not only that, but you don't know that until you're in it. And then at that point, it's up to you to extricate yourself or continue with the madness. I mean,
right. And for a lot of men, but here's the thing. Again, I'm saying some men are more prone to logic than they are to emotions. So there's some men who they're able to just block out their emotions that are saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. The other side is saying, do it. Yeah, go ahead, do it. And as soon as
welcome to my world, TJ. Wait till you meet up with me at the end of September. I fly by the seat of my pants and feed off my own emotions, dude. It's a great time. You're going to love me.
Oh, may the Lord and saints preserve us. So I guess that's what, for a lot of young men, just having that their emotions are going crazy. So they just need somebody to give them, like, point out that their emotions are not logical, right? So when they see that girl who they're just like is beautiful, but part of them is saying she's crazy, don't get involved with her, right? Well, they got to have an education or training to prepare them for that moment. Because if all they're taught is women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice and women are perfect and women can do no wrong, well, he's going to think that kind of like with women, he's going to think, I'm aroused, therefore she's perfect. Therefore she's virtuous. And then he finds out later on after a divorce and child support and, family court, she's anything but, right?
Yeah. You get to see me for a little bit.
Hey, look at that shit.
Did you call me shit?
Oh, the fucking chat's lit. We have such a good audience.
We really do.
Yes, we do. Hey, thinking of that, guys, it's top of the hour. Guess what that means?
Oh,
it's
shit.
public service announcement time.
Fast. I don't even know what the hell we were talking about. It went by
I don't
fast.
either. We were
just rambling,
running our mouths. So, top of the hour, guys. Guess what that means? Which, for the most part, I think everybody here's accountable for, but we need to have you do it anyway. Hit the like button, guys. We got to demolish the soy that's going on right now in the dislike area, because why not? If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell. And when you hit the like, it doesn't cost you anything but a mouse click, but it sends tingles to the vajayjay of Google and YouTube.
Google's vagina?
Yes, the vajayjay of Google.
And we all want the Google vagina to be wet now, don't we?
Yes, yes. We want wet vajayjay with Google. So go ahead and hit like if you haven't already. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, even though we might have been shadow banned or something, Vince, because the last show, I seem to recall, guys were like, dude, I hit it and nothing.
Yeah, well, it looks like we have 16 now, and then 7.
I'm showing 17 at this point.
Okay,
yeah.
I always see.
Yes, tingles always.
Less.
Oh, Doc's hitting us up for a shameless plug too. Why not? Hit it, Vince. You have a better voice for it.
Oh, yeah. Doc's book is amazing. It's written like some books try to do this. Aaron Clarey comes pretty close, but Doc YouTube shafted this YouTube shaded the safety doc. Flip off the 5. I'm not going to flip them off. Whoever did his thumbs down is a complete loser.
Yep.
Okay, that's my official statement on that. Yeah, the Safety Doc's book is, and I have an advanced reading copy because we needed to know what we were talking about when we had him on the show.
We needed to bone up on it.
I'm on chapter 7, and I'm continuing on. It is a page turner, and it's written as if he's talking to you. Sort of complex concepts, which are watered down to where you can understand it easily as you're reading. There's a lot of stuff you really don't want to get too deep in, especially if you're listening is one thing, but when you're reading something, that's just too much. His book is amazing, and you need to know about the Taurus and the bagel. That's all I'm going to say, because if I say anything more, I don't want to give it away. You need to get this book and read about the bagel and the Taurus. Now, the Taurus, like I mentioned in the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter. You'll know much more about what we're talking about if you do sign up for the newsletter.
The lion and the unicorn.
Exactly. No, the Taurus.
Fighting for the crown.
The Taurus, not the car, not the car. Not the car, but Taurus.
Oh, we got Atham on the chat.
Atham's in there. Atham, look that up. Look up Taurus, Taurus. But yeah, so buy the Safety Doc's book. How thinking about a bagel can get you. Yes, chapter 1 is how thinking about a bagel can get you through the worst day of your life. That's a great teaser. Buy his book, please. Atham, look that up.
Exactly.
That's right. Hey, you showed up late, Atham. There was a lot of shit we could add you look up, but oh well, here you are.
It's funny.
Indeed. So, all right, that's I could go on, but I'm not going to, because you're not here just to hear. You're not on this broadcast just to hear my voice.
That, and you need to buy the book if you want to go on. So
that's true. Book. That's true. Buy the book, and yeah, I'm not going on any further. You're not here to see my hair or listen to my voice. You're here. You're here for both. Yeah, that's right. Shots fired. All right, so Atham, butt the book. Go ahead, Atham, butt that book.
Yeah, RZD. Doc is the bagel boss.
He is the big yes. Where's the talking cat? Oh, Mowgli.
Yeah, where's
Mowgli?
Yeah, where's that asshole?
Mowgli's passed out under the table.
Wow.
He's either under the table or on the table.
We got to do a podcast where I bring Reese on.
Yeah.
You need to bring Reese on. We keep asking you, and you're like, ugh. Have you been on a hike with Reese lately?
No, I was gonna do some yard work this weekend, but I decided I'm going to probably go on a hike with Reese. God wills it.
Gotcha. Well, here's what you need to do, TJ. Link up your Twitter account to Periscope and start periscoping some of your hikes. Just you don't have to do the whole thing, but just
I'm gonna do my podcast episode.
Catatonic.
I'm gonna do my podcast episode with Reese where I'm gonna record it on video. Out in the woods. There's this area that I wanted to hike, and I figured I'd take him along. My only concern that might cause me to postpone it and do other stuff is that if the temperature gets too hot, I'm not going to bring him out. But here's the thing with golden retrievers that purebreds, they will go 100% until they drop. They don't conserve their energy at all.
Really?
So I've had instances where he'll go just, and then just he'll, I haven't had to carry him or anything, but he's just stopped. And so, in hot weather, I don't know how I feel about him, doing any kind of serious hike. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be cool. But if it gets above 90, for people who don't know, Reese is not my dog. It's my neighbor's dog. I'm not coming home to tell her that her dog's dead because of me. And he's not a young pup. He's 8 years old, and I know he's got hopefully he's got some years left. I don't want to be the one to have to say that. Right.
Gotcha.
I'll be the one to dig his grave in the backyard when he dies peacefully right next to his doghouse. I just don't want to be the one who has to carry the body back to my car, drive it all the way back and explain, and then try to convince her that I did not kill her dog. That's kind of my motivation. It sounds a little selfish, but a part of it is kind of logical at the same time.
No, I get it. How about you, Rob? How are your cats?
They're assholes.
That is true.
Well, they are. They're fine. Earlier you saw the one, I'm sure he was making a sneak performance for a minute there while I was scratching his head. But they're fine. They got hairballs. They puke, they eat, they shit, they sleep. They do what cats do, which is basically nothing and demand a sacrifice in return.
That is true. But we love them just the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I've told this story before. My cat, I had gotten him at I rescued him from the shelter, and I was there for something totally different. And at the time, I decided, you know what, I would it might be kind of cool to have a writing buddy, like a little pet companion, a dog. Having a dog, a small dog is another story, but I refuse to have a small dog. Little shaken piss dogs annoy me. But larger dogs in an apartment, it's not a good idea. So. Or if you can't take care of it, if you're, even if you have a house and you're away at work and have the dog home alone, I can't do that. So I figured, okay, a cat. So I went into the cat room. It's a lot quieter than the dog room. And I wanted to check to make sure my allergies were not going to get set off, and they were okay. So I'm looking around the different cats, and the one dude, Mowgli, had been there for 9 months. Nobody wanted him.
Wow.
And I felt bad. My heart went out to him. I'm well, what's the deal with him? Well, his owner, his companion, had to go into assisted living and could not take the cat. So there you go. But no one wanted him because he was an asshole. He liked to bite. You couldn't pick him up. He was very standoffish. I'm like, it's just like me. That's fine. We'll get along great. He's the complete opposite. When I lay down, he's in my lap. Watch a movie, he's in my lap. If I'm watching Rob on the Salt Lake sit downs, he likes to listen. He likes to listen to Rob's voice.
Because I'm the cat whisperer.
Rob is the cat whisperer, and he'll listen to the hangout. It's kind of freaky. It's kind of freaky, actually. Bless you. It's kind of freaky, actually. And then when I'm doing the podcast, he likes to come up along the side here and then smack or try to bite me. So.
And he howls at you too.
And he howls.
Yeah, if this is your first time, or if you missed the last episode 26, you need to watch that shit, because the cat was lit. And Vince had the camera on him, and it was just like, okay, this cat's about to claw his head off or something. You guys got to check it out. It's hilarious.
Indeed.
Yeah, like I said, I'll bring Reese on if I can. The problem is, in my house, there's the center of the house is where he likes to sleep at. or rest at or whatever. He's not a big fan of anywhere where we would be able to put the cameras or stuff like that. So we'll see what we can do. But I mean, during Christmas time or the holiday season, we might be able to make that happen. So
that would be really cool.
That is your Christmas wish list. We can make it happen, but first you got to sign up for the newsletter.
Oh
yes, that is really good. Kind of benevolent blackmail.
Benevolent Blackwell. I would also call it comforting coercion.
Wow.
I can also send,
I like the alliteration there, Rob.
I can also send people. I can also send people photos of Reese, which includes
someone. All right, someone just signed up for the newsletter. Who was it? Someone in the chat. Go ahead. I see. I just gotta.
Well, you don't need to out them, Vince. Good God, maybe they don't want to.
I'm out, and that's that. Well, I won't. But I thought they might want to come on and talk about that. So, all right. Rob is chastising me for.
That's right. I'm shaming you. Shame. Shame.
I don't do well with shame. Piss off, Rob.
Is Reese. For those of you who are new, that is Reese.
Reese is a great buddy. He's really cool.
He is.
Hey, Vince, shut the fuck up for a minute so that we can see the actual picture of Reese. Let TJ talk.
Here's one of his photos right there.
Stop it.
Ruh-roh. Here's another one.
We're having a moment of silence for Reese.
Press F to pay respects. Here's my favorite photo of Reese. Duh. Yeah, if you're the great one, dogs are retarded wolves. I mean, he's not wrong, but you know, it's not wrong. But it's kind of like saying someone's fat when they are, but it's like, yeah, so. No. Reese is a great dog. He's called Reese because his fur color is completely a Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup. So, What are you gonna do?
Call him Reese.
I call him Reese.
Call him Reese. Reese. Now, does he heal? Can you say sit? Does he do?
Yes, he does all that stuff. And it's crazy how when I'm just seen in the general vicinity, he goes crazy. Because he thinks he's about to go on a hike.
Okay.
Right. As opposed to, and when I'm done with him taking him on a hike, this is what he looks like.
Sorry. Shit.
Yeah. He falls asleep pretty quickly. So my objective is to get him so that when he gets home to his owner, he's just dog tired. Pardon the expression.
Oh my
God. You know what I gotta get him? I gotta get him is a Saint Bernard whiskey barrel type thing that you put around the neck.
Oh yeah.
So they sell them that you can actually put liquor in, like an ounce or something, whatever it is, a couple ounces. So yeah. So my thought is buy one of those for him and put it around his neck, fill it up with liquor or whatever. Some chick sees him and like, oh my, because trust me,
you can sit there and have a.
Hey, it's an Insta date. Hey, you want to have a drink?
Exactly.
You whip out a blanket and some
surprise. Do you know how many? I had one girl. I was at a brewery. One girl came down from the top, like there was the inside the actual brewery. She came down, came up to me, and like did the whole hand on the shoulder thing. And said, "I just wanted to let you know how pretty your dog was." Right.
She's and really of course, talking about you.
She's talking about her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was.
She didn't care about him at that point. All she could see was you and Reese.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know, like
look
I just
at
sat
you.
there and I was like, yeah, you know. Anyways, he had or I want to get him the barrel, the St. Bernard barrel. So that way, you just grab their glass, twist it, comes out, and it's like, would you like a drink?
Well, hey, here's an idea. If you're going to do something like that, if you're going to put one of those liquor barrels on your dog, let's go whole hog, and you put the saddlebags on him like the service animals have, and you have a full fucking kit. You've got the whiskey barrel with the little tap or something like that you can put into it. You open up one saddlebag, there's a couple of shot glasses or whatever in there. You open up the other side, you got, I don't know, something in a wrapper, something, a sandwich. I don't fucking know. But you can be like, hey, let's go out. Oh, well, I'm real busy. Oh, no, I mean, like right now, just start pulling shit right out of the saddlebags on the dog.
I think that's great. And especially with Reese, I think he'd love that. Because he just gets so excited when the idea of going on a hike or doing anything physical, because his owner's is older and she just is not able to take him out as much, and golden retrievers just they just need more exercise. So this is the reason I don't have a dog. I can't commit to I'm not an animal rights activist loser. But at the same time, like I'm actually very serious. The same way where I'm like, can I raise a kid? I say, I've said this before. I went to the Humane Society and I said, I need you to give me a no BS assessment of this is the kind of dog I want. What is it going to take? And they said, it's a 24-hour job, 24/7 job. You got to put up a fence. You got to take it on this amount of exercise and this amount of hours a day. And I just said, I can't do that. Like, I can't take one of your dogs into my custody and then stick it on in my lawn and not give it basically not give it the attention and care that it needs. Like, I can't do that. I'm not an animal rights activist type person, but it's just, I think it's just part of who I am. Like, I don't like taking on responsibilities that I can't fulfill. And so bringing in an animal where I also grew up in a cul-de-sac where there was filled with animals.
You grew up in a cul-de-sac.
A cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
Basically where there was dogs everywhere, but they were dogs that were meant for open areas, and they were
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I don't have a dog.
Yeah, and so it was like 101 Dalmatians when one dog, and then they would all go crazy.
That was poetic.
It's like, good night, folks.
You do that again. That was pretty good.
Yeah, do that again.
Do what?
The howling. Just hear the howling again.
I think I'm okay. Did you ever see? I got it from. Did you ever watch The Right Stuff?
Been a while, but yes.
So there's the guy who's playing. I can't remember his name. Sam Shepard. He's playing Chuck Yeager, and he's just broken the sound barrier, and he's having. Okay. Yep. It's later that night. They're out in the desert at some bar having a drink with his smoking hot wife. I gotta say it, at least in the movie. And he's drinking whiskey, and he's just doing the whole, he's just howling at the moon like a wolf type thing. It's like, and that dude's still alive. He's on Twitter. I follow him, and it's kind of amazing.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm like, that dude. I'd like to be that dude. I like to be the dude who, breaks the sound barrier and just like the stuff that guy has seen in his lifetime. But that's not to derail, but that's where I got the dog cry from.
Gotcha. All right. Rob's chuckling over here.
Well, I'm reading the chat. Zatham's like, I was in the middle of a deadlift and TJ howls. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yes. Coal sack can be a code word for something.
Yeah, and then he's like, thanks for ruining my rep, asshole.
Atham, stop lifting and go get a pipe and smoke it.
What?
And that's all I have to say about that.
This cat is dreaming.
Is he twitching?
Hang on a second. I'll put the microphone down there. Hang on. Of course he stopped.
Of course he did.
Oh, at first it sounded like an animal crying from far away because it was low and very subtle. But he's under the desk. He's dreaming. He's twitching and whatnot. I will get the pipe later. Forrest Gump. Safety word muskrat.
Yeah.
There you go. We can use that.
I love you, Jenny. Yeah,
I'm not
about
a smart
film,
man, Jenny, but I know what love is.
I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I don't know what a bad woman is. It's like, man, that girl has more red flags on her than a communist.
Yeah, no shit. Speaking of movies, though, since you brought it up, TJ, show us that what you showed us pre-show.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
TJ has some.
Okay, I'll give a shout out. So I did an interview with Jack Napier, not the Joker, but just Jack Napier. You can go find him on YouTube if you're smart. If you're intelligent, you'll just include his words with my name because I'm a big deal. But anyways, he'll do that. So I did an interview with him about James Bond. I went to the James Bond Museum in London. And in there, they had like some photo thing. And this is the photo that I had taken of me. Right there.
Nice.
Goddamn, a clean-shaven TJ. Holy
I know,
fuck.
a clean shaven TJ.
Yep.
So the question that I got to ask for you, wonderful audience, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, do I shave the beard or do I keep it clean shaven? Or do I keep the beard? Sorry. Yeah. Do I keep the beard?
Yeah, I vote for the beard. I think the beard looks good on you.
Beard.
Yeah. You look like you're 12 there, which is okay. But I think you not for not. No, you command.
Okay, Aaron. Aaron.
You command more respect.
Hey, I already know what the thumbnail for this show should be, though.
I know, right? I'll take a screenshot of that and get that in there. You see there, keep the beard. Everyone else
Smash
who votes
or pass.
Yeah. Is he hot or not? Go ahead. Everyone in the chat can go ahead and leave their vote. So right now we've got 2 for the beard.
Well, we've got a couple more too. Atham and Brian are saying keep the beard.
The beard.
We got one that's scraped that hippie shit off your face, son.
Was that Aaron?
No, it's ANMMS 6891. He said that. He scraped that shit off your hippie shit off your face. Oh, the doc wants you to keep the beard.
There you go.
All right, so we got a lot of votes going for the beard, pro beard here.
You know what the problem is, though? This is where I would want to almost consult with the ladies, but I've already known what the ladies have said because I shaved my beard once, and in my driver's license, I have a beard. And I showed it to one gal at a liquor store, and she looked because she was looking at it to buy the liquor, and she looks at it and she goes, "I like the beard," and then handed it back to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I got to kind of keep the beard, but the problem is,
well, you can do a Ralstonian report and you can shave half of it. Start a new trend.
Yeah, I don't know how about that.
You can do an Abe Lincoln, do the chin strap kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
kind of the Amish thing. You can go
Yeah.
that route.
Yeah, but
what's your take on Asian chicks? You want to date an Asian chick? Because apparently you need to shave it if you want to date an Asian chick.
yeah, no, thank you. I've heard stories.
Atham must have looked that up.
Yeah,
I've gotten fevers in my life, but no yellow fever. If you know.
God. Amish TJ.
If I know.
either grow it to wizard length or shave it off. Half measures are for pussies. No, we don't want you to grow it to wizard length because then all you're going to do is attract other men with wizard beards too. You ain't going to attract women with that shit.
That's true.
No, I've had enough Asian food. Or no, sorry, not.
What?
I don't need Asian food. Never mind.
You're digging it deeper.
How about brown fever, Filipino?
No fevers of any kind whatsoever.
Well, that's just sad.
No yellow fever.
You're the wizard, Hattie.
Jungle fever.
No jungle fever. No fevers.
No fevers.
98.6 degrees.
So you're meh.
Exactly. Yeah. Meh.
Gotcha. Meh.
No,
you're fucking ordinary and boring.
Oh god. You boring motherfucker.
Oh gosh. Atham is a troublemaker.
He is. He just kind of set us off there a little
He's
bit.
an incorrigible scoundrel.
That scoundrel.
Dirty, rotten scoundrel. Put the cork on the end of your fork, Atham.
They're all the same color when the lights are off. Well, that's true.
Oh God, Dr. Babe Love. Here we go. Oh Jesus.
Let's not get started on that. Yeah, we're not doing that.
No, not on this channel. I'll rant and rave in other places.
We'll do that if we have private stuff going on.
I already did a relationship.
That's right, you did
relationship episode on my channel, and
you did.
And yes, it
I read
a specific person.
I read the post. It was very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did the video for it too.
You did, yes.
Yeah, that came out yesterday. So
it was crazy.
Tommy Laren. Yeah, there we go.
Who's that?
Oh god.
Oh, she's one of those.
All right, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, she's a thought. See,
yeah, we're not going there.
See,
one for you, one for me, two for you, one two for me.
She's part of like the. I gotta watch what I say, but she's part of the blonde brigade, right?
You conserve a thought. It's okay.
No. She's conserve a what? Conserve? What do they conserve? They don't conserve anything.
It's just another attention money making scheme.
They couldn't conserve sand in the desert, right?
Wow.
So when they're talking about conserving things, I'm like, yeah, like.
See, TJ, you could not be talking the way you're talking now if you didn't have the beard. The beard does it. It really does.
Yeah, no one else would fucking buy it otherwise.
We wouldn't. We'd be like, let's talk about Lincoln Logs and Legos.
I don't mind talking about Lincoln Logs and Legos.
We can. You remember those? Yeah. Although I haven't seen.
I had Lincoln Logs. I had Playmobiles. I had my plastic soldier set that I've.
Oh yeah. No, I never had Lincoln Logs. My parents never bought us Lincoln Logs, but I had Legos.
I was totally into that stuff when I was a kid.
No, that's good stuff.
Because children, this was before we had the internet at my house.
Yes.
We didn't even have DSL, let alone, the 56K modem. We had a 14.4K modem, and that was for important stuff. Where nobody could make a phone call or do anything or say anything or do anything when we were doing that kind of stuff. So, no, we had Lincoln Logs. We had Playmobiles. We actually physically hung out with our friends because we were not socially retarded.
So you can't say that.
Socially retarded.
There's some people where that title fits up.
Hey, look, it's the asshole.
There he is. He's being okay at the moment. He just decided.
Are you talking about the cat or are you talking about Aaron?
The cat.
Aaron's
not here.
When you use that word, it's like, is that the cat or is that Aaron Clarey?
Well, okay, we have a dark furred asshole. How about that?
Well, Aaron is a pale-faced
asshole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's pale.
See?
Yeah, there he is. I did shapeshift. Look, there he is. He's being very dignified this evening.
Give him 5 minutes.
I know, right? Hell, start.
Well, he went from 0 to bitch in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know, right? Here he goes.
That's a cat. That's cat.
He makes a box with me. Yeah. There he goes.
I'm going to avoid commenting. Rob. Say something.
Well, that cat is a dick. He's an asshole.
He's supposed to be.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Not like human.
Hey,
eyes,
since you're bringing up 14.4K modems, TJ,
like a doll's eyes.
and Doc brought up cable TV in his town in 1982, and that actually I remember that. It was actually there was one fucking channel, not the 365,000 channels of shit we get to choose from now, and it was actually called Cable One. Is what it was called out here. You had one channel. You had to get this weird radar-looking dish thing that you had to hang off
Ready Player One.
No, not like Player One.
Yeah, this was
on the box. Got that to 4,000 degrees. Nice.
Oh, what?
RZD.
HBO on the box. I got what?
Yeah, the fucking
got
box.
real hot.
No, I know.
Yeah,
you'd burn your fucking hand on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I could make a sword out of that.
It's like an Acer laptop. Turn your lower part of your body into a penis panini.
Wow, it's crazy because you say that, Vince, because my old laptop was an Asus, and man, that thing was burning like the furnace of the fire.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
But you know what I found though is if you get kind of a geek moment, I took my old laptop from 2006, my first computer I ever had, or laptop, and it used to overheat. Well, I took one of those air blower things and blew through the computer, and it operates at a regular temperature because it got all the dust.
We get all the dust will act as an insulator.
Yeah. And so it was a Dell computer. So I can still actually use that. I've written some stories recently on my 2006 laptop just to spite the devil, right? I'm like, nobody knows what I'm writing on this laptop right now. Screw you, NSA. Screw you, surveillance state. Screw the deep state. They don't, because it has no internet connection, right? It's a huge laptop. It's an old laptop. It's 13 years old. But nobody knows what I'm doing. I was like, that's my anti-state laptop, right? Just my middle finger to the state. You don't know what I'm doing at this moment, at this time, at this moment. Go screw yourself.
Damn. That was... He's getting quick. Hey, he's talking. There you go. Again. Good, Mowgli. What do you have to say for yourself? Yeah? Anything else that's cool? No? What? What was that? Couldn't hear you.
Vince, what school did you graduate from? Because someone's saying that you graduated from Hogwarts. Oh, it was Doc. Safety Doc.
Yes.
In 1455.
It was actually 1456, but we're not going to quibble over a year or two.
Yeah, well, I graduated in 1957, and I was one of those secret Muggles. What are the Muggles?
Muggles.
I was a secret Muggle. So basically, my job was to go kill all magical people. The old
there you go.
That's what always bothered me about that freaking book series. One, there was no American. Because if there had been an American, that Voldemort dude, he got his face shot off just in the first chapter. It's just
that's probably true.
Yeah, exactly. American would have been like, yeah, dude, we're gonna just kill this guy. We're gonna get it over with. But no, the British are like, oh, we're gonna go through all 7 books before we get to that point. It's like, no, dude, I want a shotgun on my wall, ready to go, blow this guy's face off, right? No Americans in that book. The other problem is, gosh, what was the other problem? Oh, other than no Americans, that's a huge problem. That's kind of like the only problem. I've said other problems with the Harry Potter series, but I don't know. That was kind of my problem. No Americans. We would have solved that problem pretty quickly.
What are you drinking there, TJ?
This right here. ESP,
big what?
Big Ballard, which is
Ballard.
a neighborhood in the People's Republic of Communist Seattle.
Nice. And you say you live in the best state?
I don't live in that part of the state, my friend.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is coming from the guy who lives in what state?
New Jersey.
Which is a communist shithole too.
Yeah.
Both you guys, both you motherfuckers are like, "Hey, pot, I'm kettle, you're black." Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the kettle for Halloween. TJ can be the pot.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, no shit. God. Well, what do you got to say, Rob? I live in Utah, conservative. Oh.
Yeah, what's funny is part of my family grew up in Utah. So I always have an affection for that state. So I can't say anything bad about it. Like I remember we used to go over there for the 4th of July because they allowed us to light off fireworks on the street in Salt Lake City, in the middle of the earth. And they had they were kind of just like, other than alcohol and other things, they basically just leave you aside from like moral stuff, they leave you alone. They don't bother you. Right? Like when Rob talks about how they're kind of like calm down and, there's the advantages to living under a theocratic state, right? That's kind of a libertarian theocratic state. Where
there you have it.
Yeah. As long as you don't threaten the power of the Mormon church.
Yeah. As long as you don't speak bad about Heavenly Father and the Holy Ghost, you're okay.
Right. We don't care. So if you're going to go off and do something, whereas, man, I can tell you, I live in a theocratic state and, they will go door to door. Have you accepted equality and diversity and inclusivity as your Lord and Savior? No, I haven't. And I got a gun to make sure that I don't, And for all the censors who are listening to this, no, there's no statutory date for traitors. So just keep in mind that. It didn't work for the Nuremberg people. It won't work for you. We will find you. We know who you are.
Atham, you took cave rescue in Utah. Good caving over there. So you're a spelunker? Cave rescue? What do you do with that? I'm curious. You need to come on the show, actually.
Yeah.
I think TJ has mentioned that.
Yeah.
We're putting you on the spot, Atham. Everyone in the chat needs to prod Atham into coming on the show.
Sending me this awesome stuff. He's sending me these cigars that would make Aaron Clarey actually turn into a good guy. And, he would become a nice guy if he could get his hands on these cigars. But he also shows a lot of these pipes, and he's just got a lot of good stuff to say. And
cool.
That's what we're about. So.
Yeah, absolutely. In a cave. we figured that out, Atham. Thank you. That'd be cool to have you on. But yeah, you could actually be sitting in the entrance to a cave and fire up your phone if you get good reception.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, while smoking your pipe.
You're gonna be on our show, see? You're gonna like it. You're gonna take it and you're gonna like it.
That's right. Oh, that's true. Now, you're muted, TJ. Was that on purpose? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying not to laugh.
That's all right. Laugh away. That's what we're all about here is fun and tomfoolery and cool geek stuff. East Dakota, Bull Rush.
East Dakota.
It beats living in a van down by the river. That is for sure. Unless, of course, you're a minimalist and that's what you wish to do. That's perfectly fine. We support you.
Depends on what van in what river.
Well, I would say get like a VW bus because then you got all the windows.
Atham, you're too fucking busy. Good God, September, it's never going to come. You got to come sooner than that.
No, September. Wait, it's almost August. We're kind of booked already.
Stop looking at Aaron and saying, I want to be that guy. All right? Like, say, I'm going to take
more like Rob and Vince and TJ and actually take a break and breathe.
Yeah. I'm the guy who, if you can't put bourbon in your coffee, life ain't worth living, sonny.
That is for sure.
That's my motto. I need to put that in my book.
No, your fucking motto is "I'll be brief, youngsters."
I'll be brief. I'll be brief. You're wrong.
Okay, if you can't put bourbon in your morning coffee, life ain't worth living, sonny.
That's what they tell me.
That's just the Lord's honest truth.
Why do you sound like a Southerner when you say that?
You do. Is that just come naturally, or is that contrived?
Naturally, I'm just thinking of movies where people are like, "Yeah, I saw that, and that was God's Lord and honest truth." Yeah, I'm quoting movies.
That's all right.
Partially.
I'll have a pink squirrel, please.
Whoa.
What's the pink squirrel?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Excuse
Drink?
me, bartender of a pink squirrel. What the heck?
It's a frou-frou blended drink. I know that.
He sounds like a Southerner who had a stroke. Woo!
Oh God, that's funny.
That there's the God's honest truth. Yeah.
Wow.
TJ
got drunk on a beer.
A beer. Fucking lightweight.
No, I've been watching. Not watching. I've been playing too much Oregon Trail.
Yes, Atham. We do follow each other on Facebook.
Am I the only one who played Oregon Trail as a kid?
I've played it. Yes, Atham. Facebook is Dennis Malone, but I'm not really on Facebook all that much. So just follow us on Masculine Geek, obviously. Always come on here, and you'll be on the show in September. Actually, you could be on the show whilst we are down the Jersey Shore. That would be interesting. Stop making fun of me. You're like the water boy.
Oh, no, that's exactly the line. Stop making fun of me.
My mama said. My mama said. Yeah, LinkedIn is a very big
girls.
Yeah, that is a fucking waste.
Why not, Mama? Because little girls are the devil.
The devil. Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity. I invented electricity. Ben Franklin's a devil. Actually, we will all be in Philadelphia in end of September, the very end of September. So maybe we'll have an impromptu meetup for you East Coast people, in addition to the one we're having the first Friday in October. More on that later. Although Rob kind of gave it away in the Salt Lake sit down.
Well, but you're also being a dick tease about it right now, too.
I am, but I didn't mention the actual venue name, you son of a bitch. That's okay. It's not a big deal.
No, it's all good.
Nah, it's fine. TJ, stop making it easy.
Stop making what easy, sonny boy?
I said, nice kid, but a bit dumb.
Hey,
you got to do the Foghorn Leghorn voice now.
There's
something wrong with his medulla oblongata. I remember that one.
Yeah.
What? There's something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
And she let me touch her boobies, and it was nice.
And I like that too.
Gosh, you got a hole in your glove, son. I keep pitching.
You keep missing them.
Nice kid, but a little dumb.
Nice kid, but a little dumb. Kid's about as sharp as a sack of wet liver.
That boy's got more nerve than a bum tooth.
That's all right. We've got 26 people in the chat. Rob, you want to give your spiel? Because I'm not seeing the likes that we should have.
Hey, guys that just joined in, whatever you're doing besides enjoying the show, please hit the like button. We need to, get all the tingles going to YouTube's vajayjay. It gets a lot more exposure for the video, so that'd be great if you do that. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and then hit the little notification ding-a-ling-a-thing-a-do. And that way you'll know when we're on next. That's right, the ding-a-ling-a-thing-a-do.
That was that was rather poetic.
It just slid right off.
That's what she said.
That's right.
That's it, baby. All right, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. It's 10:44, so we've run a long hour and 45 minutes almost.
I know.
And we haven't actually said anything.
Like, are we? We're poor players who strut and fret our
Have
hours.
any of you gents ever been to a Red Man convention? No, we are going to do our own thing, as in our own Masculine Geek stuff. That's what we're about. So we are Masculine Geek.
We don't need no group. We gonna do our own.
We're gonna do one of our own. See?
Yeah, you're gonna see. We're gonna do our
one
own
for
thing,
you.
see?
That's
You're gonna
right.
like it, see?
All right.
I guess the money we asked for. See?
I'm gonna go back to what Rule Zero Dad had mentioned before. TJ, that's only one beer. So have you had one before? Is that a yes or no?
I'm gonna pretend to be Moeller right
now.
No, I'm too old.
I'm too old. Purple Man Con. God. All right. We're not
shoes, not sneakers.
Yes, this is not other people bashing. We're not in 12th grade. We don't do that. And that's
come on.
No, we're not doing that. So we can laugh about it, but we're not doing that. I refuse to play 13th grade. It's bullshit.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Bullshit. Yeah, you dirty little whores. All right, so we got 28 watching now. Rob, you want to spiel it up again? We just added like 4 more people.
Hey, you newcomers, hit the like button. Enough said.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, look at this really cool photo of me. See?
Hey, there we go, guys. The more likes we get, TJ will shave his beard off.
That's right.
Wait, what?
No. We're not going to actually honor that, so don't say that. Well, that would be up to TJ, really. I mean,
no, but you know, I've had this for a while.
Yeah. I forgot about that. We were going to use that in our giveaway too, which we'll have soon. Rob, speaking of that, how's the soap coming?
Soap's done, dude.
Is it done? All right, cool. All right, excellent.
I've already used a bar of it just to try it out to make sure. And
so it's good. Okay, we'll have a meeting soon. We'll put that together. We'll have a surprise for everyone in the chat and everyone listening, and everyone listening later on SoundCloud when I finally download it and upload it.
Guys, you want this sign more than you want soap.
You kind of want both.
You'll get both.
You don't.
I must hold things 1 inch from the camera at all times.
Nobody will look down on you for bending over to pick up this plaque.
That is true. Although if they do, that's really not good either.
No, it's because you got it in the mail and you're like, oh, I gotta pick up this plaque.
You're gonna enjoy the decline the hard way. Soap or no soap. Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, no, the soap's ready.
You want that sign in soap? He thinks the camera is a microscope.
Hey, I gotta make sure you guys see this stuff. I don't know what you're seeing.
That is true. So yeah, we have.
If you want to look at my beer, I'll give you my beer any day.
There you go. So we're gonna have a few items it'll be the Masculine Geek Power Pack that we're giving away. We'll have an incentive for some people. Check the pics I sent you on Twitter, Vince. Okay, let me check the pics.
Well, if you want to look at a geek thing, this is what I drink beer out of a lot.
I think there's a request here.
So
it's
for all of you old-timer, senile, or young people, just basically everybody, that is Mickey Mouse.
Aquarius Death, is that you?
What?
So I don't know. Somebody named Aquarius Death is just sending me some shit.
What?
What? I don't know.
Who?
Is that? That's got me.
Hold it closer. What?
Hold it closer, see?
All right. See? Here you go. See?
Nice. Okay. Let me
there you go.
All right. That is a beautiful. All right. Oh, cool. I was gonna say the Arrogant Bastard beer is cool. That's good stuff. Oh wow, that's really cool. So you got the gear and everything. Nice. Yeah, Atham, you need to come on. This is good stuff. I would like to talk and learn more about this. Nice. Sorry, people, you cannot see these photos. You're gonna have to wait until Atham comes on the show in September. We'll fit you in. I mean, I think August is fairly booked. All right, cool. All right, just got silent. All right, excellent, Atham. I'll send you a DM as far as open slots. Let open slots. Open slots. Yes, I agree. Atham will be a great guest. I also would like to do another format where we bring a few people on for a roundtable discussion. Not that we don't have roundtable discussions now, but I think more than one guest would be kind of cool. Maybe have like the safety doc and Atham, or Aaron Clarey and Rollo. Things of that nature. You should have some enjoy the silence, get up for just such occasions. Nah, we like comfortable silences. We don't mind. TJ's muted and playing with himself. Rob is probably touching his swimsuit area as well. We don't know what he's doing. Probably draining the lizard, if I were to hazard a guess. Chest Rockwell.
I'm just right here.
Chest Rockwell? Is that an actual name? Sounds like a cartoon name, which is kind of cool, actually. Sounds like something from Fred Flintstone. Chest Rockwell. I'm Chest Rockwell. Round, you're a shapist. That's possible. I've been called a lot of things. That's a new one, but I'll take it. I'm sure it'll trigger some people. Yes, yes, safety doc. Indeed, he is lizard. He was lizard draining. That's your alter ego on YouTube. Oh, okay. Chest Rockwell. Okay. Well, Chest Rockwell, we would love to have you on as well.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead but you're going to have to join the newsletter. I'm just kidding. Follow Masculine Geek 1 at Masculine Geek 1 on Twitter and send me a DM. Oh, we got 20 likes. Rob, do we probably have 21, right? Because usually it says 1 minus whatever.
Let's see. I got 21. Yeah.
Okay. Who are the 4 people that didn't hit the like button for
5?
5. For fuck's sake.
Pure soy. Churls.
Churls. You churls. You churls. That's funny. It's a good word.
Good question, Bullrush. Why is Thor a girl now? Why is that? That is the question of the ages. That is a useless question because fuck. That's why.
It's getting to the point where it's beyond ridiculous. I don't even pay attention to this shit anymore. I refuse to go to the movies. I'm just not hunk out a dirt snake. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Vote with your wallet, vote with your attention, guys. When dipshits want to gender swap shit, which is nonsense, just stop paying attention to it, stop clicking the links, and stop paying money for it.
Yeah, just that's what we say here at Masculine Geek. You vote with your wallet and you vote with your attention. That's the only way you can affect any kind of small change. It kind of brings it back. Good night, Wimplo.
Good night.
That's pretty much what we were talking about in the beginning of the show when I was mentioning Circle of Empathy. You can incorporate movies and books and other things in your circle of empathy as well. You are under control what you allow into your life, and that's also you're under control of how you react to things that come into your life. So, no, I will not be seeing that movie. The sub needs to leave dry dock. And on that, we lost like 3 people. Good night, 3 people that left. All right, let's see here. All right, we have about 6 minutes left. I mean, if we're going for the usual 2-hour mark, and I think most people in the chat like to hear us ramble about bullshit. So.
Well, I know, we can always talk about, where you can find us and what we're up to.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. You read my mind, Ron.
Hey,
brothers from another mother. All right, Rob, since you mentioned it, and we're going to put you on the spot, go right ahead.
All right, cool. Hey, I've been waiting all day to say this. No, you can find me at robsays.net, ROBSAYS.net. to quote my companion, compadre, comrade TJ, you're all intelligent. All my links to social media, YouTube, all that, it's all there. I put out a couple of posts every week, a video every week. My anchor.fm, all that's there if you want to listen to my shit instead of having to be tied to your laptop or tied to your screen to see it. You can download it that way. But I put up stuff pretty much 4 out of 5 days of the week. So check me out there, robsays.net.
It's good stuff. If you haven't done so already, you're missing out. Rob is a very good writer, and he has a very good YouTube presence. TJ, you are up.
You can go to tjmartinell.com.
Wow, that was. I have to say, everyone write this down. That
I'll
was
be brief.
that was less than 3 seconds. I am very impressed and proud of you. Very cool. I write periodically on Masculine Geek. You obviously hear my voice and occasionally see me now. But you want to head over to the SoundCloud and put us in your ear holes. That is indeed the shortest plug ever. I love it. That's the way it should be. So I'm going to make this short as well. Head over to SoundCloud, Masculine Geek. You can listen to us in the car if you don't feel like throwing on the YouTube. Obviously, follow, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please, in case something happens to YouTube, sign up for the newsletter. We don't spam you. It's once a week content. We don't bombard you every day. I admire and I also am repelled by the once a day newsletters. It's just, for myself, it's too much. I can't follow it. And coming up with content like that's the admiration part. I can't.
I did it in the beginning when I first started my newsletter, and it seriously was about 3 months, and I couldn't fucking do it anymore. It's like
Exactly. And I think if we follow the once a week, we don't bombard everyone who is on the newsletter, and then you get some good content from us. And it's all novel content. You get something from each of us every Monday morning. I usually have that set to go out around 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can enjoy that, and you can count on that. Something you count on every Monday. So go do that. Sign up for the newsletter in case we need to get in touch with you. We have to send out. You get advance warnings of things like the incentive, the TJ Enjoy the Decline, Rob Soap, and then TJ and I will be giving signed copies of our books as incentives. We'll come up with a way to distribute that. So stay tuned as well. But if you're not on the newsletter, you will not get advance warning. So, best newsletter I received. Thank you, Safety Doc. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy it. We like writing it. It's nice to know that people do appreciate it too. That's that warms the cockles of our hearts. Yes, there are hot cockles. So, having said that, we're going to sign off for the evening. I believe I covered all the bases.
Yep.
And we're going to start up the cartoon hour again in August. So, thank you, Rawstonian. I'm glad it's your favorite newsletter. That's way cool. Getting some good feels over here. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Everyone in the chat, it's been a pleasure and an honor having you all. We like interacting. Everyone is fantastic. So join us again for next Wednesday. Same time, same channel. Good night, folks.
Good night.